on Dr. Phil, she went from scared for her son.
No, give me the knife.
To scared for her life.
My job is to hurt you and get rid of you.
8 years old.
He punches, kicks, and spits at you.
And out of control.
How you doing, buddy?
I'm pissed.
You gonna take your mic off? What do you do for fun?
Throw knives.
You're afraid that your child is gonna be the one on the news with an AK-47.
I want those kids dead.
Let's do it.
Have a good show, everybody. Here we go.
I hate to see people suffering, and you've heard long enough.
Stand by, Dr. Phil.
I'm gonna get you the help that you need.
5, 4.
This is gonna be a changing day in your life. Well, recently, a desperate mother sent me a very disturbing video of her 8-year-old son. She says that the day it was taken, he threatened to kill her with a knife, a baseball bat, and a metal fence pole. But as Mom Dawn tries to reason with her son, take a look very carefully. Watch closely at what happens.
Put the knife up. Put it back up in the cabinet. Right now. What do you think you're going to do with that? No. Give me the knife. No. Give me the knife. Now.
Now, Dawn says Gage has threatened to kill her on multiple occasions, but last week she says things took a turn for the worst.
No! Be quiet!
Don't throw it!
I have become increasingly afraid of my 8-year-old son, Gage.
Calm down. Stop now. What is wrong? Don't.
He has thrown things at me,
Don't bite me.
kicked me, he has punched me.
Gage is physically and verbally abusive towards me,
Please calm down.
No.
his mother, and his brother and sisters.
Stop. Don't touch my phone.
Leave me alone.
Well, stop trying to hit me.
Gage has threatened my life with a metal baseball bat.
This was during a time when there was a therapist in the house. The therapist ran out of the house and said she wasn't coming back.
He just kept saying, I'm gonna bash your head in, I'm gonna kill you. You want some of this? He said, you want me to beat you to death? You want me to do that to you?
There, is that where it's supposed to go? Like that, huh?
What?
He's busted my lip. He punched me in my mouth, my nose, side of my head. He's very physical. He told me he'd run me over with a car. He wanted to cut my throat. If you were to put Gage in timeout, he would literally punch himself in the face.
He had butted a teacher at school and broke her nose. He told his teachers at school he was going to blow the school up.
I want those kids dead.
The police officer had to come and talk to him. He told the police officer, I'll take your gun and shoot you in the face. I heard him tell a doctor, I'll kill you, you bitch. He's personally told me if I had a knife, I would stab you, or if I had a gun, I'd shoot you in the face. If I had a bomb, I would blow you up. It may sound crazy to other people, but to us, it's normal, everyday life.
He would call me a bitch, or he would say you, and he used the word a lot.
Don't do that.
I worry about, Gage really getting in trouble or doing something that he shouldn't do at school. I don't want to see him end up on the news, the next kid that went to school with a gun.
Gage, put it down.
There.
Okay. First off, let me get everything straight for folks here. You two are the biological parents of the child, but you're now divorced.
Yes, sir.
And so you're co-parenting this child. You're the stepdad.
Yes, sir.
Let me start with you, Mom. What's going on here in your opinion?
Honestly, I really don't know. He's just an aggressive child, and I haven't had to deal with this. Every day is something new with him.
Did you notice this early on? Did you ever spot this early on?
Yes, sir. At around the age 3, we started having some minor issues with him throwing himself on the floor, just banging his head on the floor, screaming out loud.
At 3, was that the time that the two of you were having some problems?
At 3 years old, I left his biological dad, and me and Gage moved to a different place.
Okay, but before you did that, what was going on in the home? Isn't it true that things got pretty animated inside the home between
Yes,
the
sir.
two of you?
Between Lee and I, our house was a toxic house. There was a lot of screaming and arguing and hitting that was in our relationship before I left.
Okay, so this is displayed to him early on.
Yes, sir.
So he sees this, and about the time the marriage falls apart on the heels of violence and yelling and screaming and chaos, that's when his behavior begins to display itself.
Escalating, yeah.
So is that a coincidence?
I've always thought that it had something to do with it, but I'm not sure.
But has anybody talked to y'all about that?
I have talked to several doctors and discussed, the same topic, and their belief and my belief, I don't think that it had a lot to do with it, but it might have had just a little to do with the situation.
And the doctors that Michael and I have taken Gage to, it's been very conflicting because we've seen several. And some say that he was too young to really be affected by the violence that was in the home. And others
Someone
say,
told you that?
Yes, sir. And then others said that even at that small of an age or that young of an age, that it can have an effect on him.
Well, I hope you misunderstood when they told you that it has no effect to be violent in front of a child at 3 years of age. Let's just, rather than criticize whoever said that,
Right.
let's just hope you misunderstood that, because that is absolutely unequivocally not right. No conflict here. You affect a child when that happens. Does that explain where we are now? I don't know. But look, we've seen behavior rage-wise as early as 2, and 2-year-olds can be 2-year-olds, but he was having tantrums at the time, correct?
Yes, sir.
He was banging his head on the floor.
He was.
All right, he kicked, screamed if a toy was taken away. He would use sign language to communicate.
Yes, because he didn't speak at 2 years old. So
Okay.
I started to sign with him.
Age 3, the tantrums intensify, right?
Yes, sir.
And he starts punching you in the leg,
Yes,
because that's where he is.
right.
He's throwing blocks, matchbox cars. He's biting, hitting, kicking if a toy's taken away.
Yeah, if he was to take something away from him, or if he's playing with something and you was to stare at him the wrong way, it would
Set him off.
set him off and where he'd be angry.
Okay. And he was wetting to bed and having night terrors.
He was.
Age 4, he hits more often now. He's starting to curse. He's using aggressive
Yes.
language. Where did he learn that, by the way?
Well, I know in the home with Lee and I, before I left him when Gage was 3, that we argued. And there was a lot of cussing and yelling and screaming that was going on.
Oh, but that had no effect. Somebody told you it didn't
Right.
matter.
Yeah, that's what they said.
That's why we're here, Dr. Phil.
Yeah,
So
so
many doctors would have told
He
us so many
uses
different
vulgar
things.
words. He calls you a bitch.
Yes, he does.
At 4, he starts hitting kids in pre-K. At 5, you say that's his first violent outburst?
Yeah, like physically.
What did you call what we just went over at 2, 3, and 4?
I know. But this was the first time that.
Well, this is when he
I
was
felt
punching holes in
scared.
the wall,
yes,
right?
he was punching holes in the wall
At 5.
at 5, and he was throwing things. and
Daily to the principal's office.
Daily. Would not follow rules in any kind of sports
And he busted the
activities.
teacher's nose at school. How did he do that?
He did. He's what they called a runner, is what they said. And so he was trying to run out the door,
Okay.
and she was trying to hold him. And when she was, he just swung his head back.
At age 6, you say the intense episodes of rage stopped.
It kind of slowed down.
The severity.
The severity of
For
it.
a while, he was every day having a severe, rage for no reason, just screaming, throwing, and he would wear himself out and go to sleep afterwards.
Then it
Yes.
kind of stopped. It decreased
Yes, sir.
for a
It
time.
decreased.
Okay. All right. And in 7, 8, where we are now,
Yes.
right? I mean, leading up to now, I've made a list. You said bossy, aggressive, talks about military, threatened to bring machine gun bomb to school to kill everyone.
Yes, the teachers and the students
And the
Still
in the second grade.
Still wetting to bed, punches, kicks, and spits at you.
Yes, in my face.
Right.
Same thing at my house.
And bites you on the leg and arms, drew
Yes,
blood.
He drew blood on my arm.
Gave the
right
teacher
here.
a black eye,
Gave the
another
te-
teacher.
Yes, sir.
Okay, so let's take a break. Next, Dawn says that her husband takes the lead when it comes to disciplining the child. Now, Mike says he uses a belt to keep his stepson in line. We're going to find out how that's working for him when we come back. Dawn says her 8-year-old son, Gage, has been diagnosed with ADHD, IED, which is intermittent explosive disorder, and ODD, which is oppositional defiant disorder. That he has spent hours with countless therapists and has been prescribed a slew of prescription medications. Despite all efforts to find out what's wrong with her son, Dawn says nothing is working. Her current husband, Mike, says he spanks Gage with a belt and he'll straighten up, but really just for a few minutes. Take a look.
I'm from the police department. Get on the cops, please.
Okay, I've got the cops coming.
Yeah, come over here right away.
Where's your
He
mommy?
always hurts me.
He always hurts you? What did he do to you?
He hit me.
He
And
hit you?
Slaps me.
He smacks you?
When Gage was 7, he called 911 and told the operator that his dad was beating him. It was not true.
If I spank Gage, Dawn will get mad at me.
Gage is intimidated by Michael. He knows that he cannot get away with as much with Michael as he does with me.
Just get out. Now.
No, because your behavior
Get out!
was inappropriate.
Get out!
One instance, I heard him talking back to her and yelling at her from his room after I had already told him not to talk back, and I went in there and spanked him for it. And she yelled at me and even threatened to call the police on me, even though there was no abuse or anything.
Was your behavior inappropriate? Yes or no?
I don't think Dawn really knows how to handle Gage. Gage says, "You can't spank me. I don't need a spanking. I need help." Gage knows that I'm in charge.
When Michael spanked Gage, he does straighten up for a little bit. It does not last long. Spankings to me are not effective. It's not resolving the issue.
Gage has told me that he has been beaten at his mom's house. I asked him, what are they punishing with? He'll say a belt. I said, well, where do they hit you? He'll say all over my body.
You know, it's a lot of work to spank Gage. You have to chase him and catch him. He puts his hands in the way, his feet in the way. It's hard to whoop his butt. Gage doesn't like to get spankings, but he's not going to let us spank him, keep him from doing what he wants to do.
Okay, now to be very clear, some of this happened while we were visiting your home
Yes,
with
sir.
the camera crew.
It did.
But you didn't we didn't stage any of this.
No,
We
sir.
didn't ask you to strike this child, spank
sir.
this child,
Absolutely not.
wrestle with this child. They just
Absolutely
documented
not.
what was going on in the home, right?
Yes,
I want
sir.
to be very clear about
Yes,
that.
sir.
Okay, during our field interview at Dawn and Michael's house, Gage and his mother got into a physical wrestling match. Now, our cameras were there to catch Dawn's 8-minute struggle with her son. Now, there's kicking, punching, headbutting, spitting, and in the end, Mike has to rush in to break it up. Now, this isn't 8 minutes, but it gives you a feel for what these folks are trying to deal with.
Just give it to me.
No.
Give me. Unlock the door. Give me the balloon. Oh, God. That is not funny. Give it to me now. Give it to me. Don't throw it. Stop. 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 No. Come on. Don't do that. Gage, come on, calm down. Calm down. Stop. What is wrong? Don't. What's? Don't bite me. What is wrong?
What does fighting with your mom get you? Nothing good happens. You ready to straighten up? Or we need to go in your room? You ready to have some good behavior? You want me to, do I need to take my belt off? Why are you laughing? It's not funny. You ready to straighten up? I want you to go over there and give your mom a hug and tell her you're sorry and you love her, and just go sit down on the couch.
Will. No, Will. Sorry.
No, come here. Gage, unlock the door.
Okay, let's talk about what's not helping. You need to stop physically hitting this child. In fact, what you have a problem with is violent physical confrontation. And so you're trying to remedy that by being bigger and stronger so you can grab him and inflict pain on him, or use a weapon, a belt, and hit him. So all you're doing is getting down to his level. The difference is you're just bigger.
Okay.
All right.
You're just creating more anger, because trust me, when you do overpower him, he is hugely pissed.
Oh, yeah.
And
He
when
is
it's over,
irate.
did you see him run into his room and shut the door?
Yes.
He was embarrassed.
Yes.
He lost. He was embarrassed. He ran out of that room and closed the door. He wanted out of the situation.
Quickly.
And he went in there and plotted your death.
You're probably right.
Right?
You're probably absolutely right.
So what do we know so far? We know that there are triggers, which is conflict with authority.
Yes.
We know there are triggers which involve change.
Yes.
And we know there are triggers when he gets into a confrontation and it gets physical.
Or if
Absolutely.
he feels uncomfortable in the situation.
Right. He's in the
Yeah.
building here today,
Yeah.
and he was trying to figure out how to build a bomb and blow up the
Yes.
stage.
He was.
Dr. Phil, he said that at school, and the school has sent police officers to our house to search for weapons.
Yeah.
In our home.
And what you're afraid is that he just might someday do something.
Yes, sir.
Absolutely.
You're
Absolutely.
afraid that your child is going to be the one on the news walking through the
Exactly.
door
Yep.
with an
It's
AK-47.
it's at the point
Yeah.
where we've both agreed, and we don't have any toy guns in our house, video games.
Because you don't want to model any of this. All right, let's take a quick break. Next, Gage's biological father, Lee, says he knows what to do to keep his boy in line. These parents have a very different way of disciplining the child. We're going to talk about that when we'll be right back.
What's wrong?
Shut up, that's what.
I do the best I can to control Gage. I try to get on Gage's level. When he is really bad, a lot of times I'll just grab him by his arms and I have to get right in his face and talk him down. Or I'll try to get him to focus on something else. I'd say, please stop doing what you're doing. Calm down, listen to Dad, listen to me what I'm saying to you. Relax, breathe, just focus on me. Try not to think about what's going on. More often than not, it works. His mother came to me about 2 years ago and told me that the doctor suggested he not play with any type of video games, depicted any type of violence. I prefer Gage to play outdoors because he's an outdoors kid. He is very hyper, he's very energetic. If he's contained in a place for too long, he has meltdowns.
I feel pissed off right now.
So you try to put him in a bigger arena and let him wear himself out.
Yes, sir.
And that helps, I would suspect.
Yes, sir.
But you can't, but you got to go to school. You got to have meals with your family, so you can do that, but you can't do it all the time.
No, sir. It's really hard to take Gage to a restaurant or just to keep him 10, 15 minutes still enough to eat.
You know, it's even hard to take him to the doctor, right?
It is hard to take him to
We've
the
got
doctor.
one note from a doctor here, and he said, difficult to examine. Patient utters inappropriate words, kicked me in the lower abdomen, threatened to kill me and my staff. The mother was in the room the whole time, but did not seriously attempt to stop the child. This is your child. Why did you not try to intervene or help it at all? I mean, the doctor makes the point. He says, mother was in the room the entire time and did no serious attempt to help with the child or control the child.
Well, on that particular day when we had went in there, this was a first visit with this particular doctor. And when she had him on the exam table, when he started to kick her and spit and things like that, when I got up to stand, she told me to step back because she didn't want me to get hurt. And then she called in her office manager to help control him. I try to be compliant with whatever they ask me to do in every situation, and I've been doing that for 5 years.
He's been on a number of medications,
Yes, sir.
And these medications that he's been on have side effects.
Yes, sir.
And I made a list of the side effects on these medications. There are 72 of them.
Goodness.
And amongst the most alarming, anxiety, agitation, irritability, insomnia, nervousness, and nightmares.
Dr. Phil, you've asked for more records than any other doctor ever has of all the ones we've been to.
We all three feel like that these doctors are just using him as a guinea pig. Just try this to see if it works. Try this to see if it works. And it's on and on. It's continuous. And
Exactly.
so they bring up his dosage. They'll bring down his dosage. They'll put him on something to regulate the other medicines that he's on.
So what's going on with Gage? I don't want to talk about him without actually sitting down and talking to him one-on-one. You notice we've not shown his face because he's a child. We don't need to do that, and we're not going to now either. But I've gotten his parents' permission, and so I'm going to go back and sit down with him in our green room and ask him a few questions if he's interested in talking to me. So I'm going in.
Good luck.
After the break. Gage, how you doing, buddy?
Pissed.
What do you do for fun?
Throw a knife at someone.
Well, I'm backstage now getting ready to go into the green room and sit down and speak to this young man. He's threatened me and the whole studio already, so we'll see what he has to say.
Good enough to break.
Gage, how you doing, buddy?
Pissed.
I'm Dr. Phil.
No.
No, you don't want to shake my hand?
I don't even want to be on camera.
Oh, really? Okay, well, we'll just not put you on camera. How's that?
Yeah, get all the cameras out of here.
Yeah, well, they have to live in here. They can't go out of here. They don't have enough cord on them. So how old are you?
I don't want to.
You don't know? Are you old enough to drive? You gonna take your mic off? Oh, be careful. Be careful.
They have stupid mics anyway.
Pardon me?
Stupid mics anyway. Or rather throw it somewhere.
Nah, you don't want to throw it.
Why? They're stupid. They don't fake.
Tell me what's stupid about them.
I know when they're fake or not. People that have the same thing.
Oh, yeah, here, let me have it. Let me have it. How you get along with your mom? You like your mom okay? Yeah? How you get along with your dad?
You already know this stuff because you got all that other stuff.
Yeah.
On YouTube.
First time I've met you. I just want to know what you said, what you had to say.
I didn't have to say anything.
Yeah.
All I want to do is throw a knife at a camera.
What do you do for fun?
You know what I like to do for fun?
What?
Throw a knife at someone.
Throw a knife at somebody?
Yeah.
Yeah. But what if it hurt them?
I don't care.
Would you feel bad if you hurt somebody and made them cry?
Keep doing.
You'd do it some more? Yeah. Are you angry?
Yeah, I'm angry. I'm pissed.
Why? What's got you all angry?
Just leave me alone.
Yeah. Are you ever
always want to get hurt.
Are you ever totally happy?
I'm not answering that one.
You're not answering that one? Do you not know how to laugh?
I do know how to laugh, but I never do it.
Oh. How come?
You know what I'll do?
What?
I'll stick a piece of dynamite in here.
In here?
Yeah.
Yeah. Where would you get dynamite?
I know how to make it.
Oh. How do you
And I'm
make it?
not telling.
Dang it. Are you smart?
Yeah, I'm smart. By making a stick of dynamite, throw it in here when you don't even know it.
Yeah. I'm going to say 4 numbers. 7482. Can you repeat them? Do you know what I said?
Yeah.
What did I say?
I don't want to say it.
Oh, you don't know, do you?
I don't want to say it.
Yeah, but you can't say it because you don't know, can you?
I do know, but I'm not saying it.
So what did I say?
I'm going home,
Yeah.
and I don't want to come back.
Yeah, that's okay. You don't have to come back. I won't be here anyway. Can you tell me the 4 numbers I said?
Nope.
Can you tell them to me backwards?
Nope.
I didn't think so. But you gave it a good try, right?
I never even said it.
Yeah. 'Cause you don't know them, do you?
I do know them, but I'm not saying it.
If you can tell me those 4 numbers, I'll leave.
I don't even remember.
Swear I won't forget this, why do I regret this? In my mind reckless, thoughts are feeling endless. Sitting up, I'm breathless, anxiety's infectious. I feel so defenseless, betrayed and embarrassed. I hate being open, I hate being broken. I feel like an ocean filled up with emotion. Anger ain't a potion, rub it on like lotion. I can feel it soaking, reopen, the scars have awoken. I can't move on till I let go. I feel so lost, never at home. Need to be strong, every breath hold. Cause I can't move on till I let go. I can't move on till I let go. I feel so lost, never at home. Need to be strong, every breath hold. Cause I can't move on till I let go.
7482. Tell them to me backwards and I'll leave.
$2807.
Close enough. Close enough. Not right, but close enough. So I'll leave and let you be in here by yourself, okay? It's good to meet you, buddy. Take care.
The kid beat me up this when I got ready. Angry. Stupid kids. I want those kids dead. Only way you can help.
Take your hoodie off and talk to Mommy.
The first time I told you that, when I just got home from Rhodes, and I told you those kids beat me up, you said those people didn't even put on my report card sheet telling you that happened, so you can tell me a lie. Really want to break their arm, kill them, do something.
We need to get you help.
My job is to hurt you.
What is your job?
To hurt you and get rid of me.
Well, I love you.
I don't care. Nothing will help. Move.
Well, Dawn says her 8-year-old son is so out of control that she now fears for her life. And I decided to go back and sit down and talk with him. So far, we've heard Gage say it's his job to hurt and get rid of his mom, and that he wants to blow up this lot and stab my cameras with a knife. Just met him backstage, although he refused to shake my hand. Do you want to know why I asked him those numbers?
I do.
Yes.
Absolutely.
Absolutely.
Why do you think I asked him those numbers?
To see if he's paying attention to you, to see if he can cognitively think about those things?
Well, let me just put this all in context. First off, he's not angry, he's scared.
Okay.
This is not an angry child. I've always said, take anger out of your vocabulary and replace it with hurt, fear, or frustration. Instead of saying he's so angry, you would have to say he's hurt, or he's scared, or he's frustrated. Anger is his way of protecting himself because he is so scared. And at this point, he has a very simplistic strategy for life, and that is get them before they get me.
Yeah.
I asked him those numbers because A, I wanted to challenge him, and B, I wanted to find out whether he has the cognitive efficiency and focus to complete a simple task. I sat there and watched him moving his lips, trying to say the digits. And I gave him an incentive, right?
Right.
I said, you tell me these numbers, I'm out of here. Okay? If he wants me gone and he knows the numbers, he would have spit them out.
Yeah.
He wouldn't have told me. He would have said 7284, now get out of here. But he didn't know the numbers.
He couldn't do it.
He couldn't get the numbers. So I said, give him, all right, you blew that, give them to me backwards and I'm gone. And then he threw a 0 in there and blew it. But he was incentivized to do it, but he couldn't do it. You know why? Because he has so many conversations going on in his head right now, so much neural disruption that he cannot focus, he cannot concentrate, and he has a production aphasia when it comes to being able to give you back a simple formula or simple task.
That would be like tying shoes and just little simple things like that, too?
Yeah. Look at him. Look at him right now. Okay. Look at him. How irritating is that?
It's super irritating.
That's what your son lives with every day, all day. He has constantly got clutter going on here and clutter in his brain, and he is trying to sort through it. What you have here is a neurological phenomenon that needs to be evaluated and properly treated. And if I make arrangements for that to happen for you with hand-picked professionals, would you like for that to happen?
Absolutely.
Because I certainly will make that arrangements for you.
Absolutely.
We'll figure this out and let this young man come back here and tell us how things are going.
Okay.
Fair enough?
Fair enough.
All right. That's our plan, okay? All right. We'll do it. All right, next. She says her life is being ruined by a disease that no one can see, and many say she doesn't even really have. We're going to meet her when we come back.
I am in pain every day. It feels like muscles are being pulled off the joints.
She's tired. She's done. Puts me in a bad mood.
Ryan comes off unsympathetic.
Years ago, Crystal started experiencing mysterious pains and intense bouts of fatigue, which she said she just could not explain. And worse yet, no one seemed to believe her, not even her very own husband.
I am in pain every day. I've been living with full-blown fibromyalgia for 14 years. It feels like muscles are being actually pulled off the joint. It's a burning sensation right here. The pain's usually around a 7. When I have a migraine, that goes right up to a 10. I wind up in the ER 3 to 4 times a year.
When Crystal and I first got married, the fibromyalgia was not a problem, but it is definitely a problem now.
It's not that the symptoms are getting more severe, it's just that I'm wearing down.
I work out of town during the week. When I'm on my way home, she's tired, she's done, and she's in bed, and we're thinking, oh no, not again. It really does bring me down and puts me in a bad mood.
Ryan comes off unsympathetic sometimes.
It's hard not to be resentful.
If I didn't have this to face, I would be an unstoppable force.
This is frustrating for you, right?
It's very frustrating.
And also relationally, socially, like with your husband and all.
Absolutely.
What's your biggest challenge?
My biggest challenge now is trying to muster up the strength to even make it through the day. I know what kind of a mother, what kind of a wife, what kind of an employee I could be, but I can't make that.
Right.
I can't make that mark anymore.
What's the hardest part about getting people to understand where you are, particularly Ryan?
I don't look sick. I don't have a cast on my arm. I don't have to take insulin. I'm a pretty driven person, and so I can say, I don't feel well today, but then I can still go ahead and try to finish what I'm doing, so he sees that.
Well, Crystal's husband, Ryan, is the he we're talking about, and he is here in the audience. They've been married for 7 years, and he says he still doesn't fully understand Crystal's disease, and sometimes he does wonder if it's real or if it's just an excuse. Fair statement?
That is correct. She goes from high gear to no gear in almost a relatively short amount of time. So,
has anybody ever explained to you that the symptoms of fibromyalgia can wax and wane, and that there is a pattern among these patients that when they're feeling well, they're almost frenetically trying to get everything done they can before the next valley?
I see that.
And so they seem like, you know, I'm having a great day. Oh my God, I need to really I need to do everything I can while I can.
Yes, that is accurate.
Yeah, and is that how you feel sometimes?
It is.
Crystal wonders if there will ever be a cure.
I spent many, many years going to all kinds of different doctors. I'd go in and they'd say, let's check your thyroid. At one point I said, you know what, there's nothing wrong with my thyroid. One doctor told me that it was just all in my head. And if I took antidepressants, then I would feel better. I had read some information about fibromyalgia and I took that article to my doctor. It was nice to put a name with it, and then truly I could stand up and say, I'm not crazy. It's very disheartening to know that there's no cure.
I feel like there is a solution for Crystal.
I don't feel like I'm really living. I feel like I'm existing. And that's not a good place. Thank you.
Fibromyalgia is a medical condition often referred to as the invisible illness. And I wanted to bring in a medical expert to help explain and offer advice here. So please welcome our good friend, Dr. Frida Lewis Hall, Chief Medical Officer of Pfizer. So, Doc, it's good to see you again. Can you help us understand what fibromyalgia really is? And Ryan is right here, so.
Crystal, I heard you say that someone told you once that they thought it might be in your head. You know, they may be right after all. because your brain is in your head. And experts are now saying that fibromyalgia, which is a part of a chronic, widespread pain group, may actually be due to a processing or sensing problem in the brain and central nervous system. If you look at the symptoms, they seem a little hard to get your arms around, but let's run through them. The first one is that it's chronic pain, which means it lasts for at least 3 months or more. You've got a decade or so, there you are. There are also challenges with where the pain is, its entire body, above the waist, below the waist, left side and right side. And there's also tenderness to pressure. There are 18 points that are identified as pressure points. I've heard you talk about some and point those out. And as you can see on this chart, of these 18 points, if you have fibromyalgia, to pressure, 11 of those should be sensitive or painful. And then last but not least, fibromyalgia, the pain and the tenderness doesn't stand on its own. There are other things that go along with it. Debilitating fatigue, problems sleeping, depression and anxiety. All these things together add up to the diagnosis of fibromyalgia.
What advice do you have for the family of patients with fibromyalgia?
So fibromyalgia is so hard to deal with because it is invisible and because you have these ups and downs, these bursts of energy. There are probably 3 tips that I would give to families that are dealing with fibromyalgia. In general, the first thing is to realize it's real. And you've realized it's real for a very long time. And Ryan, you told us a little bit about your journey and how challenging it is, because it is invisible, to really believe she's not exaggerating or making it up. The second tip is to reset your barometer. And this is very hard because people want to live to their highest aspirations, to their highest points. The last but not least is tap into your network. That's at home, with your immediate family, with your wider family and friends.
All right, up next, you can manage this silent but painful disease. We're going to tell you how when we come back. Crystal wants help on how to manage her daily life as a wife and a mother. And, you know, this is not an easy thing to do because of this vicious cycle that you were talking about, right? And what does she need to understand?
So you have limitations, and you know that. So understanding what those limitations are. You also need help. You've done such a great job of trying to protect your husband and your children and your community from this illness that you're hurting yourself at the end of the day. So why can't the kids help do some of the things around the house?
There are new treatments. There's progress being made, right?
Well, there are some treatments available. There is no cure. Like with many chronic illnesses, there's no cure yet, but there are a range of treatments. And there's research that's going on kind of all the time in this area to look for new opportunities to treat the symptoms and lead to less impact on your daily life. So you should choose a healthcare team that really understands fibromyalgia. This is special, and your team should be very well versed in this. And the second thing is, there are a lot of things that you can do, medications, exercise, physical therapy, behavioral therapy, stress reduction and relaxation, nutrition. So there are all of these things you and your team can be reassessing and exploring continuously so that you can find which combination works best for you. Last but not least is staying informed and on top of new information that comes out in research. There's information that might be helpful on fibromyalgia and other chronic, widespread pain on gethealthystayhealthy.com. So I invite you to try that.
All right, well, so listen, there are things out there, and we want to help you get in touch with some of those, and so we're going to work on that. I'd like to thank my guest today, especially Dr. Frida Lewis Hall. And for more information on today's show, you can visit drphil.com as well. We'll see you next time. Thanks so much. We're going to work with you on this. Good to meet you. We're going to work with you on this.